Hi guys, and welcome back to Normski TV and another match reaction. Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. And look, guys, what can I say? I'm not going to say it was a game of two halves, in the sense that when you look at the first half, we were obviously the better team. And we go into this game, off the back of, Man City, winning 2-1 away to Nottingham Forest. And listen, that was a tough game for Man City. Nottingham Forest really gave them a game, but, Ryan Church, I think it's Churchy, scores the winner, I think in the 80-plus minute to make it 2-1. And you're thinking, right, the pressure now moves over to Arsenal. Now, we haven't always boded well when we played against Brighton at home. They are a bit of a bogey team. And today, we go in this game off the back of, going through on penalties, against Crystal Palace. And the last few games that we played, guys, it's been shaky, to say the least. You know what I mean? Because we haven't looked comfortable. We have not looked comfortable in the last 3-4 games. You know what I mean? Listen, this Owen, we've got this new signing called Owen. I think it's Gonzalez or Garles. Apparently, he's from the youth academy. Really doing well for us. I think it's now 4 goals that he's scored. And massive respect to whoever picked this guy, whoever got this guy. Absolutely brilliant, doing really well in the last few games. Probably one of our top goal scorers. Is right up there, along with Trossard. But today he comes through on the 52nd minute. A great delivery by Mr. Declan Rice, who for me personally speaking, man of the match. Definitely man of the match. This guy who came in depthing for Timber, who we found out was injured today. Got an injury. Don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his ankle. Calafiori getting injured. Apparently getting injured in the warm-up. Now, something tells me that I think he was injured before that. And obviously Miles Lewis-Skelly comes in for that, for Calafiori. So, we're going into this game with injuries, but let me say this first of all and foremost, that injuries, as far as I'm concerned, is not an excuse for the way we are playing currently. And it will not be an excuse, because we bought these players. We had a deep squad, and the players that we got, we should be able to deal with all these teams that we've played in the last 3-4 games that we've pretty much struggled. It hasn't been convincing, guys. Come on now. You've got Man City who've won 8 games in the Premier League, in a row. 8 games comfortably, to say the least, apart from, this last game today. Yeah. But today, we had to go in and put in a performance. And now the first half, yes, it was a half decent performance. It was okay. And if you look at the stats, I think if you check the stats out, we had I think it was 6 shots on targets in total, 24 shots to their 8 and total shots, and then they had 3 shots on target. Our shot accuracy, again, we just not getting that shot accuracy up there. Do you know what I mean? Again, Brighton had a better shot accuracy than us. Yeah, we end up winning the game, as I said. Owing, I think it's Gonzalez or Gomez, whatever his name is. Just doing the business for us. It's absolutely fantastic that we've got a player like that. And he's one of these guys that ghosts around. You don't actually see him. So it's amazing that what this guy does. Sometimes you're thinking, how did that happen? But Owen Goles gets us another goal. But look, we go into the game with a lineup of Raya in goal, Declan Rice, as I said, Deppin for Timber, Saliba, Pierre Ancape, Miles Lewis-Skelly, who comes in for Calafiori, as I said, got injured in the warm-up. Odegaard, Zubimendi, Marino, Saka on the right, Gokres up front, who again, for me, had another poor game. He had a massive chance in the first couple of minutes. All he needed to do, ball was over the top, All he needed to do was just lift it over the keeper. He hits it straight. It was almost like a back pass, guys. It was almost like a back pass. And then Leandro Trossard playing on the left-hand side. So the game, let's say first half, you know, I think in that first half, I think we had 5 or 6 shots, you know, and we needed to score at least one. We needed to score at least one. But listen, in the 40th minute, our captain Odegaard, you know, pillar foot as people like to call him, hits it with his left foot into the right hand corner or the left hand side of the keeper. And you know, it was a well taken shot. And I think it was an assist from Saka. You know, just a basic pass to him, just inside the box, and he hits it first time. And that's what we needed to do. That's what we needed to do. And to be honest, he did play well in the first half. I'm not going to lie, he played well in the first half. But you know, you've got players like Eze who's sitting on the bench. You've got Ethan Wanweri, who has to now go on loan now, because I don't know what he's. I don't know if he's had a falling out with Arteta or what. I'm hearing. I was watching a bit of Big Up to Views and Shane on their match reaction, and they were saying that possibly that there was a fallout between Ethan Wanweri and Odegaard. Well, you know, if that's the case, then no chance. You know what I mean? You can't touch Arteta's boy. You can't touch Arteta's boy or say anything. So maybe that's the reason why he's not getting any game time. But I think he needs to get out now, get out on loan in January, and go and play for a team that's going to give him minutes. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to get it here. It's really scuppering. You know, is you know, in terms of him playing for, you know, the England under 21s and just his career, you know what I mean, stumping his career. He needs the minutes. He's a talented player. He's a very good player. Arteta doesn't trust him. We can see that because he doesn't bring him on. And, you know, in a game like this, you know, one thing about Arsenal which really annoys me is that we score that goal in the 40th minute. This is the time that we need to push on people. We need to push on and get that second goal and put the game to bed. Brighton in the first half were there for the taking, but we just couldn't finish our dinner. It's typical things. We could not finish our dinner. And, you know, as the game goes on, you know what I mean, you're just thinking, if, you know, Brighton go into the second half, you know, 1-0 down, you know, you see they've made changes at half time, brought on, you know, a couple of attacking players, then brought on more attacking players. And Minto came on, and he was giving a bit of problems down on that right-hand side. Miles Lewis-Skelly, who had an okay game, nothing brilliant, just an okay game. For me, you know, the players that I really weren't really impressed with is obviously Victor Gyökeres. His touch, man, and his hold-up play just ain't there. It just ain't there right now, and I don't know what's happening. But at the same time, I'm going to portion blame, and I'm going to also put blame also on Saka in terms of, you know, passing that ball and delivering that ball to Gyökeres. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, he needs the service, and I don't think he's getting the full service. Do you know what I mean? And because of that, I don't know if his what's the word I'm trying to find? Confidence is sort of hit at the moment, because surely in that first half, you know, when that ball landed at his feet and he was one-on-one with the keeper, you know, obviously he's got 2 defenders breathing down the back of his neck, but you got to lock that, man. You know, if you are what I've seen to be when he was playing in for Sporting Lisbon, you need to put that away. You have to put that away. And he was, you know, scored quite low in the one football. He was scored quite low in that, along with Trossard as well. Trossard, I was onto the ball too long. The thing about Trossard is he's a technically good player. What lacks him is his pace. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes he can be frustrating. He holds onto the ball too. There was one time when he was deep in picked up the ball deep in Brighton's half, and he was twisting and turning, and then it came to nothing. What was all that about? You've got to lay those shots off. You've got to, you know, because you've got was there waiting for the ball. The same when Saka. There was a ball Saka picked up. He didn't play it to Gyökeres, and Gyökeres was like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? You've got to give me the ball. So again, I don't know how many touches in total that Gokras had of the ball. There was a situation where he went down the flank. A nice ball was played down the flank. He chased it down. The goalkeeper came out and took him out. Thought it was going to be a red card because of he was so far away from the goal. It wasn't deemed as him as being the last man, so to speak, or he was having a chance on goal. So the referee ends up giving him a yellow card, which some people will say was lucky. Some people say he should have got a red, but at the end of the day, he gets the yellow card. Eventually, he gets subbed off, and Gabriel Jesus and Gabby Mangalese comes on. Now, the thing is, what I don't get is why are you bringing on Gabriel Mangalese? We'll come to Gabby Jesus in a minute, but why are you bringing on Gabby? Leave him, rest him for the Aston Villa game then. We knew he was going to win a bench. Big up to Shane. He called it again. He knew that he was going to bring him on and play him for 20 minutes plus, and exactly the call that he made. And he's ended up coming on. Listen, to be honest, he had to feel his way back into the game. He's been out for quite a while now, over 2 months or so. So, he had to feel his way back into the game. But he didn't need to come on. I would have liked to have seen a more attacking players. Madueke, where was he today? Do you know what I mean? Why wasn't he playing today? It was like for like. Gabriel came on for Victor Gokras, and to be honest, Gabriel held up the ball, linked up play a lot better. But again, the thing about our attack, all our attack, in terms of even Saka, we have to be more clinical in front of goal. We have to be more clinical in front of goal, guys, because these are the sort of games where they're tight, and we are seeing this regular pattern now where we go a goal up, whether that's earlier on in the game or later on in the game, and then we sit back and then we invite pressure on. And today we invited pressure on. Brighton started to grow into the game. Danny Welbeck come on, on the 70+ minute, and we started to invite pressure on. As I say, Minto playing a lovely curl shot. What a world-class save by Raya. Absolutely top draw save. I think it was in the 75th minute, 77th minute, something like that. Top draw save. When he got it with his fingers, I thought it was just going to hit the back of the net, but he went over the bar. I was like, wow. When you see it at full speed, absolutely amazing. So listen, Raya, in my title, Raya saves the day, because that could have been 2-2. And we would have been looking at the Sunderland game. We would be looking at the Chelsea game and saying, why are we constantly inviting pressure on? Why? Yeah. I keep saying it, either talking to my mate on the phone, he goes, listen, a win is a win. I said, but we can't keep playing like this, because it's just not sustainable, guys. It's not. Because we should be, these kind of teams, we should be putting away, but we're making it difficult for ourselves. Now, Tuesday coming, we've got Aston Villa. They're currently playing Chelsea at the moment. Don't know what the score is. I think the last time I looked, it was 0-0. So I may actually watch the game. Hopefully after this, I will watch the game. But look, at the end of the day, we're making the games harder than what they are. We have to be clinical. Why is it that we can turn on the games for Bayern Munich, turn on the games for Atletico Madrid? Where was that fluidity? Why have we got that? And I see that it's our attack that's lacking right now. And, Victor Glock just ain't glocking at the moment. And that could be down to a number of things. Down to him, you know what I mean? Just imposed himself more in the game. He's not technically a good footballer from that sense, but he needs to find his shooting boots. Plus, you need players to find him as well. Yeah, because a couple of times Saka could have laid that ball across to him. And do you know what I mean? There was one where, the ball came at him quick. He didn't realize it. I think it was a cross. I can't remember who crossed it. I think it was Declan Rice. And, before he knew it, the ball was sort of bouncing in front of him and it just caught him unawares. So he's got to be more aware in the box. Look, it's going to take time with him. I'm going to still give Glock time. But I can see what's going to happen. As soon as Kai Havertz is fully fit, Glock is going to hold bench. It's as simple as that. Eze today. Where was Eze today? Now, I hope and pray to God that Tuesday, if he's rotating the side, that he gets Eze in that side, he gets Madueke in that side. I'm hoping that the Timber, I don't know what the extent of the injuries with Timber, but is Declan Rice going to end up playing at right back? I need him in that midfield, especially when he's going to be up against the likes of Tillemans, Morgan Rogers, do you know what I mean? McGuinn, all these guys, you know what I mean? Kamara. Anana. We're not going to survive that. We're not going to survive it if you've got Odegaard, Moreno, and Zubimendi in there, especially playing like this at home. Yes, we're top of the league, 2 points clear of Man City. If you want to say we passed the tests, but we're just getting over the line. We are just struggling over the line. And yet again, I'll say it, Raya today saves the day. What a save by Raya. And so we move. But for me, Declan Rice, for me, was the man of the match. He was everywhere. I mean, it was like in the 80-plus minute. This guy has covered every blade of grass, making tackles in midfield, even though he was depping at right back, playing inverted. And he made this run, and he literally put on the afterburners and just left them. And Brighton had fresh players on, and he still left them for dead. There was a time when a cross was played off, I think, to Saka. I think Martinelli missed a goal. Not Martinelli, yeah. A ball was played from Saka. Martinelli balloons it over the box. You've got to put that away. You have to put those chances away. And there was another chance. Saka had a chance. And again, I think Dunk puts in a block. We have to be more clinical. You know, how we're top of the league playing like this, I don't know. But we're not going to be able to sustain this level of standard of play, you know, in the next few games. We've got Aston Villa next. You got Liverpool around the corner. Yeah, we're going to be away to Bournemouth. So we've got to sort it out, guys. We have to sort it out. We have to. It's just like we're just playing in one gear at the moment. And it just tells you a lot about this manager that you would bring on Gabriel Magalhaes. You, in that situation, you know, when you're winning obviously when the goal happens, when they equalised, and I think it was in the I can't remember. I think it was a 60-odd minute. I can't remember the exact time. But when they equalised, right, you think to yourself, right, get on more attacking players. But now what does he do? He brings on Gabriel Magalhaes. Why do you need to do that? And that's why we invite more pressure, because what it is the front three, the front four are not taking the pressure off our midfield and our back four or back three, whatever you want to call it. We're not taking the pressure because we're literally not holding the ball up at the front and doing what we're meant to do, which is putting the ball in the back of the net. Our midfield is not that brilliant, guys. Moreno just constantly on the floor, guys. Just constantly on the floor. You know what I mean? Constantly on the floor. But as I said, the substitutions were made. Gabriel comes on, as I said, held up the ball a lot better than Glock. Gabriel had that massive chance. Gabriel Martinelli had that massive chance. And you got to score that guy. You got to score that. And obviously, Gabriel Magalhaes coming on for Miles Lewis-Skelly. So they went back. Kept the back four with Rice, Saliba, the normal pairings of Saliba and Gabriel and Ankipe playing at left back. So I think going into the Aston Villa game, we play on Tuesday, so the games are coming thick and fast. What happens there at this situation now? What happens now is if Calafiori is not fit, I would play Ankipe there. I wouldn't play Miles Lewis-Skelly there. He's a bit of a liability. I'm not going to lie. He's not playing his best game. And this is the first start in how many games? Do you know what I mean? Just not on it at the moment. If Timber's not fit, who's going to play at right back? Put it in the comments. Who should play at right back? I don't want to see Deckers there. I don't want to see Deckers there, man. They've got to do something. They've got to sort it quick. The injuries are just piling up. But you see, for me, it's down to Mikel, because you play these players and you run them into the ground and you wonder why they keep dropping like flies. But anyway, listen, we win the game 2-1. It wasn't a brilliant game. Again, it was just we got it over the line. Had a little bit of a scare, you know, when Brighton get that goal back. But other than that, first half was okay. Second half didn't play really well. At the end of the day, Raya saved the day. We go in 2-1, top of the league, and we move to the next game. But I want to see a better performance. Will we see it? Not with this manager, because I think he just goes into games not wanting to lose, and so we play with this handbrake up. We need to let the handbrake down, and we need to go for it. Aston Villa is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game. As I say, I don't know what the score is currently with Chelsea, but we need to go and have a performance come this Tuesday. Please hit the like button. Subscribe and share if you're new, and I'll see you on the next match reaction. Take care and God bless.